Good morning, everybody. Today is day 3 of starting my cold email agency. So I have my website made. I have set up my subdomains and have my emails now warming up in instantly. Now what I have to do is I have to start getting clients. So I'm going to get my clients through cold emailing. Pretty easy to sell somebody on a call for cold emailing when you got them on the call through cold emailing. So what I want to do is I want to find some B2B niches, ideally that can service clients nationwide. So you have a bigger total addressable market, your TAM, than a kind of local service-based company. And of course, I want to do B2B because B2C, from my understanding, it is illegal to cold email consumers that haven't opted in. So I simply asked ChatGPT to recommend 20 B2B niches. It's pretty smart, so it understands nationwide, a clear audience, rely on outbound lead gen, and have a high customer lifetime value. That is one of the most important things when selling any kind of lead generation or advertising service. The customers need to have a high customer lifetime value. If it's a very high transactional business and they're making $200, $300, $500 from a customer one time, it's hard for them to justify spending a lot of money with you because their total value of the customer isn't very high. So I like to work with companies that keep customers for a long time and get reoccurring revenue because they can have a higher CAC or cost of customer acquisition because that lifetime value is higher. So some of the industries that ChatGPT recommended were SaaS companies. That's a little bit broad, but you can break that down into things like insurtech, fintech, marketing tech, and run campaigns for each of those. Marketing agencies are a good fit. Once again, reoccurring revenue business. If they do a good job, they have a customer for a long time. Specifically, SEO agencies I really like. I have a background in SEO sales, and when I was selling SEO previously, we had a very straightforward pitch. Go to home service companies like plumbers, roofers, consumer HVAC companies, flooring companies, solar companies that are running Google ads and are not ranking on the first page organically. Basically offer them a way to get on that first page organically without having to run pay-per-click ads anymore. In the web consultation, we showed them how much traffic their competitors who were on the first page organically were getting, and then how much they're getting on the second page without pay-per-click. And the sale was really straightforward from there. So I am going to run a campaign to SEO agencies and basically use that as my pitch. I'm going to get you clients that are not ranking on the first page organically, get you to basically book a web consultation with them so they can learn why they're not on that first page organically. You're going to sell them your services and get them there. Business consultants or coaches is good if they have a really clear niche. That could be a really awesome vertical. Recruitment agencies, I don't know a lot about this industry. From my understanding, in recruitment, you're usually licensed by state, so that could be okay, but you're going to have a smaller total addressable market, likely meaning the campaign's not going to run as long and I'm not going to keep the client as long. Law firms, I think, is way too complex for cold email. A business that's going to have a law firm on retainer will likely have a CLO, chief legal officer. A bit too hard of a market to penetrate, so I'm not going to deal with that. IT services or MSPs are an awesome market. I do MSP lead generation in my current business, and customers are really looking to spend money there to get results because reoccurring business, they keep the clients for a long time, and a lot of different stuff they can sell them. VoIP services, cybersecurity, network security, Microsoft licenses, remote management, a lot of money in that industry. Commercial cleaning, that is really the core of what I do in my day-to-day business, outsourced BDR. Awesome niche. For cold emailing, I've personally struggled with it because there isn't necessarily something to offer in the email aside from a free quote, and you're geographically limited. However, with that being said, I am going to run a commercial cleaning campaign to test, and what I'm going to do is to pitch to the clients, I'm going to get a list of companies that are currently hiring janitorial company, or sorry, currently hiring a janitor, so a full-time employee, and I'm going to target companies that offer porter services. Porter services are essentially a full-time cleaner on the cleaning company's payroll. They do the benefits, they hire, fire, manage, but they work at the end client's company in their uniform every day cleaning their business. Basically, a way to have an employee without having them on your payroll, having to manage, train, hire. So they just pay a bit of a markup over the normal hourly rate. But geographically limited, but we'll try it anyways. Corporate training or e-learning, solid niche. I can give that a shot. Payroll, HR tech. HR tech is a really solid industry. I've sold HR tech in the past on the research and advisory side of things. Good niche. People in HR are normally pretty friendly and easy to sell to. Bookkeeping or virtual CFO services, really scalable. A lot of companies that are smaller can't justify a full-time hire in finance or a CFO yet. So straightforward campaign to run for companies between 5 and 30 employees as a way to have a fractional finance expert without a full-time salary. Logistics or freight brokerages, really good niche. It's actually very easy to get clients in this industry if you're not doing the retainer model, but if you're going the affiliate model, there's a ton of companies out there that advertise affiliate programs where basically you bring them clients, and then off of every load that they dispatch, you get a commission there. So you're not going to get that monthly retainer, but over time you can build up a really good book of business and get residual commission on that. So going to run that as well. Commercial construction or contractors, very niche, hard to know when a company needs that. So I'm just going to avoid that altogether. B2B equipment leasing, it's good. I imagine that is a very kind of geographically limited campaign. Very easy ICP. Construction companies, real estate development, they're going to be leasing forklifts and all of that kind of heavy equipment, cranes. So good, but geographically limited and small total addressable market. So you're going to have a short campaign. Manufacturing companies is solid, especially if they have a very clear ICP. Let's say you're working with a nutritional supplement manufacturing company. I'm basically going to pull a list of every nutritional store in the US and say, hey, do you want more products on your shelves? We have this creatine, we have this whey protein, this pre-workout. We offer consignment, we offer terms, straightforward. Commercial security services, it's okay. It's a decent niche. Once again, I have a feeling it's going to be a geographically limited niche because it's hard to dispatch employees nationwide unless it's a very large company that has regions in every state. Commercial real estate, very niche. Small TAM, can be hard. Mortgage brokers, same situation. Private equity or investment groups can absolutely work, getting them M&A targets. So a lot of them are buying up home service businesses right now. That's been a big trend in private equity. Instead of investing in startups hoping to have a big exit, they're really buying up a lot of blue collar businesses that have stable revenue, have been around for a long time, and they will buy it for a 3-time multiple and basically have a 33% IRR per year, which is pretty solid. Property management firms, once again, geographically limited. Very rarely are they going to be nationwide, so I'm going to avoid that. And insurance brokers, solid business. You're a bit geographically limited unless you're working with a larger firm like Hub, which has offices all over the place and can write deals anywhere, because usually in the commercial insurance business, which I do have a bit of a background in as well, you are licensed in Canada by province or in the US by state. But still, they can work with just about any kind of business and insure them. So what I'm going to do to start at the very top, I'm going to go for SEO agencies. So I'm going to go into Apollo and I'm going to look for owners of SEO agencies. So let's go to my default view here. Perfect. So job title, I want to look for CEO owner, founder, I like to work with smaller companies most of the time with the owner or partner, uh, heavily involved in doing the sales. I find it can be a little bit harder to sell into some larger companies because they'll have an internal hire for it. So I'm going to start out with companies that are, let's say, 1 to 10 employees and just deal with the owner directly to make things straightforward. Founder. With Apollo, if you're going to use the owner keyword, I recommend turning off include people with similar titles because you're going to pull product owner, a whole bunch of unrelated titles where it's not the actual business owner. It's going to be a department owner or somebody who you don't really want to talk to. For location, I'm only going to do the US right now. Canada's also a good market, but Canadians want to pay in US dollars, and Canadians want to pay in Canadian dollars, not US dollars, and I don't want to get paid in Canadian dollars because they're not worth a lot right now. So geographic region is going to be USA. Number of employees, I'm going to do 1 to 10. In the 1 to 10 category, you're going to get a lot of solopreneurs, so you can even do 2 to 10 or 3 to 10. I don't mind working with solopreneurs, especially in the SEO business, because usually they're going to be subcontracting or have some VAs that maybe aren't on their LinkedIn, which is how I find oftentimes Apollo gets their information from LinkedIn scraping. So that's fine. And then for industry and keywords, I recommend not using the industry that they lay out here, because, for example, you'll have marketing and advertising. That is so broad. Marketing can be a company that prints signs for the side of the road or a company that makes custom t-shirts. So I'm not going to use industry. Instead, I'm going to go directly for company keywords, and I'm going to do SEO optimization. So search engine optimization, and I have 4.9 thousand contacts, which is more than enough to start a campaign on. What you also want to do is for your email status, you want to put it to verified. That is going to help lower your bounce rate. So for verified, I have 3.3 thousand contacts. Now, what I do, instead of purchasing through Apollo, I use a tool called Apify. So I'm going to copy this Apollo link here, and then I'm going to go into Apify. This is the one that I use by Code Pioneer. It's been really good. It's $1.20 per thousand leads, so this list of 3.3 thousand is going to run me like $4. I'm basically going to drop the search URL in there, run options, everything is good, save and start. So it's going to pull this list for me. It usually takes a few minutes. Now, what I do is after I have this list pulled, I drop this list in a tool called Email List Validation. I bought Email List Validation from AppSumo. I think I paid $99 for an unlimited lifetime license. It's been well worth it. So here's an example of an Apollo list that I put through Email List Validation. So 87% were deliverable. This is using Apollo Verified. 7% were undeliverable, and 1% were risky, 2% unknown. So for the best results in your campaign, you only want to reach people where the email is deliverable, because if you have a high bounce rate, your emails are going to get blacklisted, banned, go to spam. You don't want to have that. Here's an example. If I go into instantly of 2 campaigns that I ran, one where I used email list validation and one where I didn't. So this was a janitorial campaign that I ran. I did not use email list validation, but I did use the instantly verified feature, and I had 13% bounce rate, which is really, really bad. Now, if I go to a campaign where I did use email list validation, I have, I believe, 2 and 3% on one campaign. So for payment processing, I used email list validation, and I'm at, that's like 2%, I believe, 3%. So not bad, a lot better than 13%. So let's see, my leads are just pulling here in Apify. Once those are ready, download it, run it through email list validation, and then to get your leads into instantly after, all you do is you want to write your campaign first, not import the leads first, because if you don't have your campaign written first, then you can't customize based on the fields that are going to be in the Excel sheet that you're going to put into the instantly campaign. So if I go here and I go to add leads, all I do is click add leads, upload CSV, and then I just drop the sheet in. So what I recommend for your first campaign, pick a niche that you understand something about and understand how to sell, so you have a unique angle to pitch to the businesses. You don't want to have a generic pitch like, I'm going to send cold emails to your ICP. You want to understand their ICP and show them that you're an industry expert and actually understand how to get them clients, what's going to make people interested. So when I approach an SEO agency, I'm not going to say, I'm just going to send leads to home service businesses. I'm going to say to them, I'm going to manually pull a list of businesses that are not ranking on the first page of Google. And in that pitch, I'm going to include customization fields that I'm going to send to them in the email of, I've seen you were ranking on the second page of Google for plumbing in Des Moines, Iowa. If I'm reaching out to people in Des Moines, Iowa, 96% of clicks on Google go to the organic first page results. I'd like to discuss with you why you're not ranking on the first page. When do you have 5 minutes for a quick call? So that pitch is a lot stronger than just saying to somebody, do you want to learn how to get on the first page of Google? Businesses get a ton of spam for app development, SEO, online marketing, and it's not at all customized and really has no value to them, so they ignore it. I get probably 10 or 15 cold emails a day regarding that. So try and pick a niche you understand and can have a bit of a unique angle with some personalization or some intent data to run in your first campaign. So I hope this video helped. If it did, follow along for more. Next, I'm going to show you how I'm going to write the campaigns for the businesses. Thank you. Bye for now.